Well, here we are. It's another day. I believe this is part 5 of the 4-tech to DI conversion. Everything's been done, ready to go. I think I've got everything covered. So I say now we take that engine, put it in there, and see what happens. So let's crank this up. I think what I'm going to do is put you in a stand. Oh. There we go. That way you're nice and safe. And I can control this thing. Just waiting for that to slip, fall, hit the floor, smash the case. All the fun is done. This engine has never been in here, just the bottom end. Okay, I'm going to take this opportunity to hook up some of the more difficult items, which would be the little compressor vent. This vent is hard to get at. That water outlet is hard to get to. And we'll also hook up the cable on the oil. So, hey, let's do that. I think everything else looks good. Oh yeah, and the starter wire is also nice to do while it's up in the air. Let's do it. Starter wire's hooked up. We got the vent hooked up here. We got the crank vent here, water line here. Those are the ones that I always seem to miss and becomes a real headache to hook up. I'm gonna drop it down a bit and then we'll hook up the oil, because I gotta make sure that those little marks line up correctly when it's all hooked on. So that's the next step. Not sure if you can see the little alignment marks right there. They line up with the little hole underneath, or there's a pin with a mark on it. Hard for me to tell if you can see it or not. There's the little marks right there. And that looks good. While we're on our way down, I put this rear pipe on the lower one for the compressor cooling, put on the vent that comes from the air box that's actually attached to the throttle body, which you can see here. That's that pipe there. And, oh yeah, and that rear one, that one we had on before. So I think we're good to drop it down just a little bit further. Lots of vents and pipes to pull out of the way. Maybe now I can put this throttle body on the engine. Maybe. And that's on. And it's working. Oh, there's a ground wire here somewhere. That ground has to go on there. Let's put it on. Here we go. It's an awkward lean in. I'm on my tiptoes. All right. Just don't want to lose pipes underneath the engine. I think I'm going to have problems up front with this water line here that sticks out so far. I think it's going to hit here. That is something we need to look at. That is confirmed. That pipe just hits here. I got to shorten that up, and that's going to be fun getting it off, but we'll try. Well, with extreme difficulty, I got that changed out. Changed it to this one, a little flexible. We'll bring it up around and over. Little reroute. Those other pipes get so petrified over time, you can't even bend them. So I don't want to snap that because this guy right here snaps off like you would not believe. It's so easy. And then you got to change the whole bottom water cover. So, okay, let's continue on. Back to where we were a few minutes ago. Moving stuff around, making sure nothing's in the way or binding. First touchdown. Second one. Everything's looking okay up here. A little tight on the oil. This is a little more difficult when you got some good weight on her. Oh my. Trying to figure out which way up and down on this thing. Okay, this seems to be an issue. Okay. That seems to be fitting in there nicely. I think we'll loosely put some bolts in there for now and then continue to hook everything up. And then we'll take the bolts back out, Loctite them, put them back in. Yeah, that's the plan. Mm-hmm. $13 mil. Okay, that's all bolted in. We're going to hook this up. Got our ground for the battery here. I spilled some oil. Want to have a look. That's all nice and neat and tidy. Looks good up here. That's for the bottom of the exhaust. That it goes up to the oil. Green pipe goes on the bottom and this clear one goes on the top. So I'm going to hook those up, take that rope out of there and keep going. All right, where are we? Oil line is hooked up, looped around, looks pretty good. The 2 water lines are on. I don't like this flexible pipe though, it wants to collapse. I don't know. Might have to change that out again, and that would be pretty horrible reaching under there again to do that, but that one goes out, out of that T. We'll check it out and see what happens. So now it's a few little electrical components to plug in. That's to the stator. And we'll tie that back. We've got these 2 connectors look the same, and both are interchangeable. Clip. 2 more over here. That tape off of there. I guess we'll know when we hook this up to the computer whether I got them the right way around or not. Actually, this side is not interchangeable, so this has to go to the throttle body, throttle position sensor, and air pressure, air temperature sensor. Yes. And we can neaten all that up with zip ties. Got to get the compressor line hooked up. I bolted on the knock sensor. Just set the wires here for now. And that's for our fuel and air injectors. But I'm going to change those because those are not the right ones, so we're going to put the right ones in. Okay. That is touching the flywheel. And now it's not touching the flywheel. Yeah, looking good so far. So let me put this on, and then we'll move on to what? Exhaust. I haven't had the exhaust on this thing yet, so I don't even know what's going to happen. And I also need to see if the air box is going to fit in here. So a couple things yet. Whew. Toasty. Oh yeah, she's toasty. So the trick is put the clamp on first, on there, and then slide the pipe over and through this, and then you can get it on there. Otherwise it fights you pretty good. That break off or slip off? It slipped off. Solid. Okay, we also need a pipe to go from the raves to here. Got to find that pipe. And we got a pipe. With a hole in it. Look at that. Hopefully that'll make this just too short. Oh, that's good. Now what? I think before I go any further, I'm going to put some oil in there to make sure that there's no oil leaks, because we've never put oil in this thing before. spillage. Any leaks? No oil in the pipe. We got to loosen that fitting again right up here. So why don't we do that and get some oil coming down the pipe. Squeeze the throttle. Oh yeah. See the oil coming down now. Filling up over there. Oh yeah, and it's making a mess. All right, that is in. I got a bit of a mess to clean up there. That's okay. Nothing too bad. Well, that took a full jug. Not seeing any leaks. Can see how much oil we got in there. A little bit of an air bubble down there. See if we got any leaks up front. Nope. Okay, that's one step closer. I think that I am going to squeeze the air box in here, which is right there. And then we're going to pop the exhaust on. Let's do it. Well, we've overcome a lot of obstacles getting all this in, and I was just going to clip on the air box and it won't go down. So we have to either cut that air box off the bottom and reseal it, which is a good possibility, or the other thing is to get some sort of covers for here. So I guess we're kind of stuck from moving forward until I get that figured out. Oh my God, just the simplest of things get you in the end. The whole motor fits, everything fits perfect, and then an air box doesn't fit. I'm gonna come up with something. Okay, I did some online searching, and it appears that there is an aftermarket flame arrestor that we can put on here. We'll just have to take these O-rings off, clamp it on there, and we'll be good to go. And just out of curiosity, I took the air box and cut the bottom out to see how this thing works. And they have a shared filter or flame arrestor right in the bottom. Quite nice actually, metal in there and everything. So that's how that works. It draws the air in through here over the top of the engine, in through here and up out there. Kind of cool. We're going to get rid of all of that. So the only thing I have to do is on the throttle body in there. I've got another one here I'll show you. I think this bracket has to be modified to clear over here in order to slide that arrestor on. So I'm going to take this one apart, mod this one, and then I'll swap it out with that one that's on the machine. So let's do that. I wonder if we actually even need that piece. Well, that thing is solid. Seems kind of silly to chop it all up because that'll give me good access here. Good access here. I think that's all we're going to do. Just take that off the other one and leave it like that. There's no flex, no nothing. That thing is solid. Let's just take the other one off. Just loosen off the brackets because I don't think I can get in there, or the clamps. But I want to do all this before I put the exhaust on, because then we got no access. Gotta have one. Good. Okay, we've got the bracket here just for good luck. I'm thinking if I don't know if I need to follow this pattern or not. Something like that. We'll make a bracket like that. Bolt it onto the carb. I pulled this out and pulled the bracket off again. And that'll stabilize it, even though it doesn't need it. But who knows? Maybe something will be an issue if I don't do it. So let's do it. Oh yeah, perfect. Now clean it up. Okay, got the bracket. Just putting a little bit of Loctite on the bolt. That should work. We'll see if she fits. Yeah, that's solid now. Now we'll see if I can pop that back in. These rubber boots are a pain, and I probably don't need them anymore because I'm bypassing that whole mechanism there anyway. That fit perfect. Not in the way of anything, not touching anything. So that's, I think, all we need. Very promising. All right, we are now ready to proceed with the exhaust. I don't know how this is all going to tie in up here, what sort of problem that's going to give me. Sorry, over there. So let's fit it up, see what happens. Before we goop it all up, I'm just going to slide it in and see what we're dealing with here. Yeah, we're dealing with something. Let me grab the other one. Darn washer always falls forward. Let me get a bolt. Wow. Might have a problem. I think that foam back there is our problem. That styrofoam right there is stopping us from putting that exhaust in. And there's a vent right there in my way. Oh boy. We got a light. I don't think it's the styrofoam. Gonna have an issue here. Oh boy. Okay, loosened off this bracket here. So that got the bolt in. Put a bolt up here. That's gonna bolt down nice. This lines up. Problem is I have to rotate this piece in order to get my angle right, or it opens up at the seam. As you can see, when I rotate it where it was originally, it starts throwing off the alignment. So that engine exhaust mount on the back of the engine, we have to take that off. And then this will slide forward and fit in. And then we'll see, maybe we got to make a custom exhaust mount. I usually only use this bracket and these bolts to hold that in. I never put that bolt in. It's too difficult to get at. So I might just not do anything there. All right, I gotta pull this out, pull that bracket out, pop it all back in, see what happens. That's why we're doing a dry fit first. And here we are in the engine compartment. Got the exhaust put back in, the clamp out, sorry. That is the best I can get. We are shoehorned in there. That's going to create this issue here. I got to connect that to that somehow. But I do have a bunch of pipes. So let's see what we can come up with. And like it was meant to be. I don't have any clamps on there, but that fit pretty good. But I got to take it all out again. So I think I'm going to take it all out. Yeah, you can see how much it's twisted. There's the bracket there. That usually mounts down below, but that's about as good as I can get it. So that's what we're going to run with. And yeah, so I'm going to take it all off, goop everything up, put it back together. There's a brass ring that goes in there. And then we'll move on to the final stages and fire this sucker up. All right, got the hose clamp all tightened up to 2 on each end. Everything's all ready, so we're gonna goop it all up with some ultra copper Permatax here, brass ring, which actually goes in here. And we're gonna get this exhaust thing put behind us. That was, I'm telling you, just another, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch lower, and that wouldn't have fit in there at all. And then I would have had some real trouble. Actually, I guess I could have just rotated it more, but it would have been a hell of a bend up there. Anyway, let's goop it up. Okay, got a nice bead of goop. We'll drop that copper ring in there. Goop up the other end. Put this thing together. And all gooped up. Time to put her in the machine. I also put a little bit of Loctite on the nut here because I've had that back off many times from the vibration. So now we're ready. And so the nightmare begins. This is heavy. It wants to fall everywhere. The washer slides. You get Permatax everywhere. I'm gonna just pop a bolt up here. Just to try and help us keep things in alignment. .13 mil nut. Don't drop that in the bilge. Okay, Loctite on all the bolts because these vibrate loose. Okay. Even the Allen key gets stuck in there. Over here, there's that rubber bushing for the air box, and the wrench gets jammed in there. Everyone has got a challenge. That's ridiculous. Last thing, tighten the nut up under here. You got to get the special wrench. My favorite special wrench. And it's just sort of reaching in behind and tightening it up. Definitely an easier task without the air box there. Okay, good. I'm going to torque those down. And referring to the manual is 48 N.M., 35 foot-pounds. Camera's in the way. Torque wrench shut off. I hate this wrench. That's her. And another bolt here, Loctite. I forget if that's 17 or 19. I think it's 19 mil. No, 17. How about a ratcheting 17? Good. Then from the top of the compressor, this goes here. I think I gotta shorten that a bit. Just that much. Gotta tighten that. We're getting somewhere now. That looks good. Snug as a bug. Okay, and then there should be another pipe for here, which is somewhere. over here. Yes. Like that. That one comes from where? Oh, the top of the water box rave. Okay, a couple of zip ties, and we should be good. Guess we should hook this one up too. Missed it. That softens that up nicely. Ooh, too much. Oh yeah. Okay, that looks good. I think we're getting really close to giving this a test start. I have to put the fuel rail on, which is sitting on the bench. That's easy. And I'm going to swap out these injectors because they are the wrong ones and I don't want to bother dealing with that. So I'm going to put the right injectors in there, fuel rail on, hook all that up, and then we're ready for a test fire. I don't have the flame arresters yet, but we'll give her a shot anyway. Hopefully it doesn't explode. And I don't know the quality of the fuel either, or what's in there, but anywho, one step at a time. Let's get the fuel rail on. Okay, so we got a couple of flame arresters in. We got it. I'm like, how's that supposed to seal when it's open all the way through? But they actually put a piece of clear acrylic in there. So that's pretty cool. So I think I got to take the O-ring off that's on here, and then it will sit in that groove. So let's rip those out of there. Of course, now with the exhaust on, kind of sucks to get in there, but we'll make it work. And here we go. Which way do we want this? This way? Oh man, that's just perfect. Let's tighten that down. What is going on here? Why does that want to slide off? Doesn't now. Now here's the biggie. Is will the other one fit? Underneath the exhaust. Oh yeah, it's on. Woo! Flame arrestor problem averted. Let me tighten that other one down. There's nothing much else to see there. Okay, both arrestors are installed. You can see, fit good. I love it. This is the part number. So in case you want to get one, they fit perfect. And next job is the 2 air injectors and the fuel rail. Just got to make sure I got my rubber O-rings installed. Air injectors. And fuel rail. We got air in the end, but let's get this first. Come on. It goes there. And the return, which is up here. Goes there. And then we got to put the retaining clip on. That always ends up falling down into the bilge. And I use Loctite. Good. Make sure your temperature sensor's clipped on good. Air injectors are clipped on. When I say air injectors, I mean the wiring. Is that not gonna drop down? Ah, yeah, it does. And 2 bolts with 13 mil socket. Again, Loctite. I have so much more room to work in here, it's crazy. 13 mil. Where are you? Make sure I can, I don't know if that's gonna reach. I might have a problem there. I think that those lines needed to go underneath all this. I want to make sure that they, yeah, there we go. And the air compressor goes in there. And another retention bracket coming up. Loctite. Again, this one will want to fall down into the bilge. That's clipped on. That's clipped on. Still feel like that wiring's a little bit tight in there. Might have to move the temperature sensor. It's like it's on the wrong side. Let me flip that over. Okay, put the temperature sensor, I don't think you can see it, I can't even get the camera in there. Wire in between the red and the black return. And that gives me a little bit more length on the fuel injector. I think we are down to the last pipe of the day. And that is the fuel supply. And another bracket. Tighten that up. I think that's it. So I'm going to put a battery in. We're going to hook up the Seadoo Pro, see if this thing fires up. I don't know anything about that gas. I know it's old gas. Could be a little bit tough to start. I don't know, might not start at all. But I say that is the next thing we're going to do. So I'm going to grab a battery, put that in, and Seadoo Pro. Battery time. I have actually 2 battery terminals. And is this screw going to be long enough? Yep. Red. Sparkage. Yep, little spark, nothing serious. Normal. Okay, push some buttons. Yep, everything wakes up. Like it, don't like that that's sitting up high like that. We're gonna change that one, but I have more. Tether it up. One more. Okay, now Seadoo Pro. Pop her on again. Reading. Beautiful. Deeper. Yeah. I think we're looking pretty good. So now, where did we go to? Sorry. Reset. Perfect. Okay, here's the moment of truth. Let's see what happens when we push the start button. That has a different sound for sure. Okay. I was not 100% sure about the air compressor, and I'm still not sure about it. Let's see. Ooh, good sound though. Oh, what a dummy. Let's tighten the spark plugs. And plugs tightened, they were just 2 turns in. Wahoo! That thing sounds friggin' awesome. You know what that is? Just some junk. Wow. So that air box obviously muffles a lot of the sound here. So I guess if you want more noise, we definitely got it. I also don't have the resonator in here, so that too causes a little bit more noise. I love it. That's so awesome. Our last hurdle is when we put the pump on, is there going to be enough flex in this to push that back to put the ring on, the retaining clip. So I guess we'll see. But what I have to do next is I got to hook this up to the water and idle it for a bit, make sure that everything is okay, then put the pump on, then water test it. So we still have a few more things to do, but that was a huge hurdle. Getting over this. I didn't know these were so perfect. They have the little notch in there to fit over the throttle body. I mean, it's just amazing. So yeah, this thing could be in the water in an hour. Unfortunately, it's freezing cold, and we're probably going to have to wait 6 months to test it out, but I'm still going to do the water test and the pump install and alignment, but I think we'll do that in the next video. But gosh, I must say that was just a huge hurdle overcome. Load 1450, right on the number. Woo! No leaks, no issues. Well, I guess that's it for now. So I guess until the next video, thanks for watching, guys. Okay, I can't wait. We got to put the pump on to see if this thing is going to work or not, because it's kind of the last hurdle. After that, we're golden. So I got to see if that clip's going to go on. There's only one way to find out. We got to put this inside. Yeah, it's got to come back a bit. Oh. Okay, now we'll push the pump in. Rotate the engine a bit. Oh, it's turning everything. Oh, that sounded like it dropped in. Gonna bolt that on. A little bit of Loctite. So the whole build comes down to this last moment Because if this doesn't fit, that means the engine has to go further back or further forward. So let's see if it'll move back enough to put the clip on. Not seeming like it will. That's not good. Oh, won't move at all. Okay, hold the pump off. Loosen this bolt because it looks like we have a bit of space there. Loosen this bolt here to hopefully get a little bit more out of the boot. Thinking I'll take this rubber bumper off the shaft here. I pulled the pump off. We'll slide this thing back in and see what happens. Pump is reinstalled and all snug down. Here we go again. That's a long way to go. Don't know. Might be reinventing something else. No way. Clearly, I got to come up with a new plan. Possibly the boot for the other machine. Oh boy. Maybe. I think with a little persuasion I can get that on there. Which would be better all around. Maybe. Come on, baby. Do it. Go. All right, let me change plans. And I got it on there. I heated it up with a heat gun. And that got us on there. So I'm just going to put a clamp on that. Put the carbon seal back in. And we'll try it again. I'm going to put the rubber bumper back on, try it, and then if it doesn't work, then we'll take it off again. Wants to just keep sliding out. Oh boy. It's gonna fight me to the end. There it is. Bolting up the drive first, pump. Now this is with the rubber boot in. We gain more. Oh, it's gonna do it, no problem. Room to spare. No problem. Do a quick fire up just to be sure nothing's... That is way good, way better than what I had planned. Just looking here, it is quite compressed. There's still more room and it's not super tight, so I think we're good with that, no problem. Perfect fit, rubber bumpers in there. If I had to take the rubber bumper out, that would give us even more space, but I like to try and leave it in there and see how it runs. So now the next step is water test. That'll be in the next episode. Thought I'd just give you a little bonus footage.